just is buffing the shit out of all of his armor. Look at that, +7 armor. This is brutal. +7 armor. Basically, they take 75% less damage. That's ridiculous. And they're not. They have. They take extra from magic. I mean, which is Gryphons versus Gryphons. So I mean, not like it really matters that much. But 7 armor versus only 5. That is a big difference. 2 armor is the difference between life and death. Even a 1 armor boost for your entire army. Let's say you upgrade it and get 1 armor. That's 5% more HP for your entire army. That's insane. So you really should be, you know, effectively, getting armor and stuff. Inner fire important. Okay, look. As soon as the Griffin gets focused, staff, light, and then he staffs it right before it dies. Light, staff, and he just does it and does it and does it on all of his Griffins. Every time a Griffin starts to get focused, heals it, and then staffs it out. This right now, you see, he lighted that Griffin, and he's gonna staff it out. He might have used all 3. Maybe that was a mistake. He should have staffed it out at least. Another important thing what Noke's doing is he's making tanks. Tanks are an interesting counter, especially at this point. What I'm thinking Noke is figuring at this point is he's not going to be able to really bust into Demuslim's base. He doesn't have the firepower to stay outside and fight. He doesn't have the army advantage to fight Demuslim in his own base. So if that's the case, he can use a tank to apply pressure to all of Demuslim's buildings and force him to fight, while still staying outside of his base and applying as much pressure as he can. Noke basically has the game at this point. There's not too much Demuslim can do. If you look at food counts, 95 food versus 80 food, very difficult at this point. Right now Demuslim's just trying to focus heroes and hero cheese, but honestly, I would say that Noke pretty much has the game. If you look, Demuslim has no priests left, and Noke has 4. And they're on level 2 Brilliance Aura, so they're regenerating like nothing else. And they're always going to be able to cast Inner Fire, and they're always going to be able to cast a spell. And there's really next to nothing that Demuslim can do to fight his Griffins that are 2-1 versus 1-1, who have 5 additional armor. There's really nothing you can do. And if you notice, staff abuse on both sides is working out very well. Keeping heroes alive, very important, as well as keeping the vast majority of his army alive. If you look, earlier I forgot to point out that that 1 D-Hawk Demuslim made got focused and bolted and died within seconds of the battle. So it was essentially a waste of 200 gold. Game's pretty much over at this point. Tanks totally owning. If you think about what tanks did for Noke this game, they ended the game a lot quicker. I'm pretty confident Noke would have won without them if he just kept massing Griffins. But the main thing to note is that once tanks come out, it forces your opponent out of their base in a case like this where you already have army advantage. So I would say this game teaches you a lot about micro, and it teaches you a lot about strategy, when to make what. Obviously, Demuslim making D-Hawks probably wasn't the wisest choice on the planet, and I mean, I'm not Demuslim. I couldn't beat Demuslim. I'd kill like 2 footmen if I played versus Demuslim. I would play Demuslim, and I would get 6 minutes into the game and lose a footman war versus him, and lose the game. Probably lose my Archmage. I'm not as good as him. I'm not saying I am, but I'm saying he made mistakes this game in his counters. Sorks slowed him down so much and did not let him get enough priests, and it really didn't do much good considering Adept or Master Priest plus level 4 AM equals infinite mana. He's gonna be able to Noke's gonna be able to slow spell as much as he wants. Going Sorks really did not give Demuslim the advantage he should have gotten. Noke made no Sorks this game, and that really benefited him overall. Generally speaking, in a game like this, you can really point out I would say that was the main mistake of Demuslim this game, was making Sorks. If he had not have made Sorks, he may have even beaten Noke. I can't really say. That's on a totally different dimension. That game never occurred. But I'm saying it's entirely possible that he could have beaten Noke if he wouldn't have made Sorks and he wouldn't have tried to counter with D-Hawks. one of the interesting things about this game is how they're preemptively countering. This is something that if you do have an expansion, you can do. You'll often see Night Elves making Ancients of Wind, maybe 2 of them, once they get up their expansion, so they can make Hippogriff Riders or Dots or Fairy Dragons as they need to counter other things in the other person's army. They may not need that building ever. They may not ever want to make a Chimera Roost, and they may not ever want to make a Hippogriff Rider, but they have that ability to if they need. And that's one of the important things about what both Nook and Demuslim did, was building a workshop in order to, in the event that the other person's going Knights, or Knights and Caster, they have Mortars and Gryphons instead of Gryphons and just Gryphons and Priests, because Mortars have a lot more caster killing potential, and the Gryphons can just focus the Knights, or the D-Hawks, or Gyros, which is what Nook would be making to directly counter the Gryphons. So, generally speaking, I'd say the D-Hawk choice was a waste of 200 gold by Demuslim. He really was not thinking when he made that one D-Hawk, I'm positive. Other than that, I don't know, there's too much more to cover in that game. Really, I thought it was a really good game. It really showed Nook's expertise as a player. It really showed how taking advantage of your opponent's weaknesses. Nook is an incredibly smart player. It stuns me sometimes how good this guy is at Warcraft. I would say he'll be a world class one day if Warcraft lives much longer. Which, who knows? StarCraft 2 is sort of stealing its thunder. But if Warcraft lives longer, man, Nook's gonna be a world-class player, and I'm gonna be really proud to be be proud to be an American in Warcraft. That's something that you don't really see. If you're Korean, you can always be like, yeah, all the best Warcraft players are Korean. Germans had like SK Fire D, I think, and other players. The English has Demuslim, which I mean is only one player, but I mean France has Todd, China has Sky. What does America have, So it's cool that we have players like Nook, who are really smart and really talented and are really representing our country, which I really like personally. Other than all that, I'd say that's basically all I have to talk about. What if I got any shoutouts? Shit. Do I have shoutouts? Oh god, I promised someone a shoutout. Fuck. Oh, AOC Spoon, otherwise known as SF Spoon. He just got accepted in my clan. Really good guy. I've known him forever. He's really cool. We play together on an account at West called Forget the Basics. Forget THE Basics. Yeah. Really, we're trying to make a joint account to rank top 10 or something, so we can make it into the pro ladder next season. If next season does in fact come along, we'll be able to make it in, and that'll be really good fun. So we ladder on that account together. We're almost always on together laddering, these days at least. I'll probably be laddering on it later tonight, which, I mean, you guys won't know. You probably won't get this audio for like 2 weeks. So, yeah, this is Joseki. This is my audio. I hope everyone enjoyed it. Peace.